Welcome back to the deep dive. We love to analyze real-world examples of English.
Mm-hmm.
And today, we're going to be taking a look at a high-pressure business meeting
Yes,
from a sales team.
exactly. And we'll be breaking down some of the vocabulary
Yeah.
and some of the dynamics and strategies
I love it.
of this fast-paced sales environment. So imagine
Okay.
you are in a conference room, and a sales team is...
So nervous already.
Oh, yeah. It's thick with tension. The sales team is desperately trying to brainstorm solutions to their slumping sales figures.
Oh.
And to make matters worse, their CEO is about to arrive.
Done. Okay, so the CEO is known for being very demanding. So what kind of language are they using in this pressure cooker of a situation?
Well, right off the bat, you hear phrases like match the competitors.
Match the competitors. Okay.
And this goes beyond, just keeping up with the competition. It's about analyzing their strengths, their weaknesses, their strategies, and finding ways to not just meet, but to exceed their offerings.
Yeah, I like that exceed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really knowing I'm trying to think of a good idiom. It's like, know thy enemy, right?
Yeah,
If you don't understand how they're playing the game, then you can't beat them.
absolutely. And that's where a deep understanding of the market comes in. You'll hear this phrase.
The market. Okay.
Used quite a lot. And it essentially just means the specific industry or sector that they're operating in. So, for example, if they're talking about the tech market, they need to be aware of the latest trends, the dominant players, the evolving customer needs.
Yeah, so it's kind of like in the market. That's like shorthand for saying, what are the rules of this game? Who are the major players? And how do we strategize to be successful in this particular game?
Precisely. And in this scenario, the team is under immense pressure to come up with ideas that will not just match the competitors, but also resonate within their specific market.
But that's only half the battle, though, right? Right.
Because what if they come up with these brilliant ideas and they pitch it to the CEO, and the CEO is just like, it will never fly?
Oh, yeah, it'll never fly. It's like, that's like the worst thing you want to hear.
It's like, oh, you're just crushed.
It just crushes you.
Yeah.
And it just means that it's not practical, it's too risky, or it's not aligned with the company's vision.
Yeah. It's so interesting how just one little phrase can change the dynamic of the whole conversation. Right? It's like, the ideas are important, but you got to know how to present them and to make sure that the person who's making the decisions is on board.
Absolutely.
And that brings us to something that we call fluency builders.
Fluency builders, yeah.
I love it. So tell me a little bit more about these fluency builders. Like how can they help us sound more natural, confident in these situations?
Well, let's start with a simple yet effective alternative to "I will be here soon" or "I'll arrive soon."
Yeah.
You can simply say, "Be here any minute."
Oh, be here any minute. Okay, cool. So it's kind of like implying that you're already anticipating their arrival, right? You're like in sync.
Exactly. It creates this sense of immediacy. It creates a sense of connection. Now, let's say you're considering different options in a meeting. Instead of saying think about, which can sound a bit casual, you can say consider.
Consider. Okay.
And it's just a touch more formal. It adds a touch of professionalism.
Yeah, consider sounds much more deliberate.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I am carefully weighing my options.
Exactly.
This isn't just a whim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so what if someone presents an idea and I think it's absolutely amazing? Can I just say, great?
You could say great, but if you want to sound a bit more enthusiastic, you can say brilliant.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah, especially in British English.
I can hear it.
It conveys just a much stronger sense of approval and enthusiasm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you're not just acknowledging it. You're like celebrating the idea.
Exactly.
I love these fluency builders. They're so cool.
Yeah.
It's like these little secret codes to unlock this more natural way of speaking. It's great.
It's your linguistic toolbox.
Yes. I love it. Okay, so we've learned some key phrases like match the competitors and in the market. And we've discovered the power of fluency builders. But there's this whole other layer to this meeting that I'm really curious about. And that's the dynamic between this team and this really, demanding CEO.
Yes, that's where things get really interesting.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have to wait until part 2 to really break that down.
Yes. We'll analyze how the communication style of the CEO really affects the creativity of the team. So stay tuned.
Okay. See you in part 2.
See ya.
Okay, so remember, we're in this conference room with this sales team. They're trying to come up with ideas, but they're all really nervous because their CEO, who's known for being very demanding, is about to walk in.
Right. And as soon as he walks in, you can just feel this energy shift.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, they were sort of brainstorming, but now it's become this hesitant guessing game of what the CEO wants to hear.
Yeah, it's like that classic scene in a movie where the music stops and everyone knows something bad's about to happen.
Exactly. And it's so interesting how his presence immediately impacts their language. You know, instead of freely bouncing ideas off of each other, you hear them second-guessing themselves.
Yeah.
Using lots of qualifying phrases.
Yeah, they're walking on eggshells a little bit.
Yeah, like almost apologizing for their suggestions.
So even if they have good ideas, they're just too afraid to say them because they're worried he's going to be like, it'll never fly.
Exactly. It really highlights the power dynamics at play. You know, the CEO's communication style, even though he's not saying it directly, is sending the message that conformity and immediate results are valued over innovation and risk-taking.
So it's kind of like, you know, obviously this style of leadership isn't really creating a space where people feel comfortable being creative.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess the question then is, what would the opposite look like? What kind of leader would create that space where people feel safe to, you know, maybe say some crazy ideas?
Yeah.
You know?
That's the million-dollar question. Imagine a leader who, instead of dismissing ideas, leans in and says something like, interesting, how could we adapt that to fit our current market needs?
Okay.
Or what data points can we gather to test this concept? You know, acknowledge the effort, redirect the focus, and encourage critical thinking.
I love that. So instead of just shutting down the conversation, they're actually encouraging it to keep going.
Yeah.
Right. They're opening up the possibility of collaboration and further exploration.
Exactly. And that's where those fluency builders we talked about become even more crucial. You know, a leader who encourages this open dialogue might say, I'm considering your proposal. Let's gather some more data and revisit this next week.
Okay, yeah.
So it gives the team this sense of validation and a path forward.
It's amazing how just a small shift in the language can create this totally different atmosphere. I mean, in one scenario, it's all fear and hesitation, and in the other one, it's excitement and possibility.
Yeah, and I think that's what sets apart a truly effective leader. You know, the ability to not just direct, but to inspire, to cultivate this space where creativity thrives.
Yeah.
And brilliant ideas, even the unconventional ones, have a chance to take flight.
Man, this has been such an interesting look at not just the language, but the dynamics of a sales meeting.
Yeah.
I can't wait to keep unpacking this in part 3. We've been talking about this pretty intense sales meeting. And I think it's really interesting how much we can learn about communication just by analyzing the language people are using.
Absolutely.
You know, things like leadership, even company culture.
It's true. Words are powerful.
Yeah. And we saw how, you know, certain phrases like match the competitors or in the market can really reveal some strategic thinking. But then there are other phrases like it'll never fly. That just like totally kill the creativity.
They do, you know, and beyond the individual phrases, it's the overall communication style that really sets the tone.
Yes, and we saw that contrast between a leader who creates kind of a climate of fear versus one who encourages everyone to, you know, consider all the possibilities.
Exactly. And I think those fluency builders we talked about are so important for that.
Totally, because it helps you come across as more natural, more confident, and like someone who inspires rather than intimidates.
Exactly. And even if you're thinking, well, I'm not in a leadership position, these communication skills are valuable at any level.
Oh, absolutely. You know, whether you're brainstorming or presenting an idea or even just having everyday conversation, you know, being mindful of your language can make you a much more effective communicator and just a more valuable member of the team.
I couldn't agree more. You know, recognize the impact your words have and then choose them carefully. To create the kind of environment where everyone feels heard and respected.
This has been such a good reminder
It has.
that language is so much more than just words.
Yes.
It's how we connect with people. It's our values. It's everything.
It is. And as you continue on your journey, whether it's in sales or any other field,
Right.
remember to use your words wisely,
Yeah.
choose language that uplifts and encourages and inspires.
Well said. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
We hope you learned some valuable insights, and we'll see you next time.